Good morning, John Augustine back again. 2014, the year 2014 in Ireland, some events. Ambassadors from this country. We've 80 ambassadors, of which 30 of those ambassadors are women, which is nearly half. If it was 40, it'd be half the ambassadors. And the Department of Foreign Affairs, and they appoint a man in that department to be the ambassador to the Vatican. Now, Eamon Gilmore, Labour, ex-democratic left stroke communist, had closed the embassy in the Vatican on cost grounds, he said, which had been established in 1929. So he wasn't in the job a wet week as foreign minister when this is what he did. Did it do him any good? No, sorry. He had to resign when they had local elections and Labour was trenched. A fellow called Cooney, he was the Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs, and I thought he was English. I met him when Ireland stand up under the chairmanship of Mary Fitzgibbon, a marvellous Catholic. There was a meeting in the hotel there near the Dáil, and a lot of the ones that were invited, including Bihar Martin, Fianna Fáil and Vivian de Valera and Sinn Féin with Mary MacDonald, about this business of the closure of which was a retrograde step because it was one of the first country to recognise the Irish freedom. But of course, if you have communist leanings, that's what you do. Didn't do them any good. And then that didn't do Labour any good. They're down to nearly nothing. And Mr. Cooney was at that meeting. And I remember saying to him, it was a very peculiar decision to make. I spoke to him. I was at that meeting in Buswell's Hotel, Malta Street, just beside the Dáil. And it was well attended. But they didn't stick to what they appeared to support at the time. They've gone down a very bad road, killing of the innocent, etc. Now, so that was increased ambassadors, but closed the most important one in world affairs, and the Irish ambassador was nearly the head of the diplomatic corps there because he was the longest serving from 1929 when we first, other countries hadn't got ambassadors because they were not exactly Catholic in their outlook. But he did have ambassadors to the Vatican because the Vatican is going a long time and have what they call nuncios in various countries. That's their word for ambassador. So they know what's going on. So that was on the 6th of May 2014. And then the next day, the 7th, it's trouble for Mr. Alan Shatter. He was the Minister for Justice and Defence. He has to resign because of allegations about Garda malpractice and an investigation by a senior counsel, which would be a barrister, senior counsel, Secretary Gurdon or Leo Gordon or Sean Guerin. And he did a report and he found that that was the case. There was Sergeant McCabe that had been harried and abused by the chiefs there, trying to, because he was talking about the corruption and lack of proper police practice. But he regretted it because he suffered greatly. So, and then on the next day, the 8th of May, Mrs. Frances Fitzgerald, she was from Cork, she becomes the new Minister for Justice. And I see, and Charlie Flanagan, son of the other Fine Gael man. Here comes Flanagan, there goes Flanagan. He had a bicycle and he had that on it. He becomes for the Minister for Children and that kind of thing. And then it says Enda Kenny becomes the interim Minister for Defence. So does he get, I know it was a move against him. And I think this is when Varricker took over. Yeah. So Enda Kenny had done the dirty work for Gilmore to criticise the Catholic faith. He didn't have much look for all that kind of carry on and finding fault with nuns that did great work. Maybe a bad apple here and there, making allegations that turned out to be untrue. But tell a lie and it travels, tell the truth and it stays at home. So he got the bum's rush. And Mr. Varricker, I think, voted no confidence, and this fellow Bruton, Richard Bruton, he was instrumental in that too. And it's funny. So now, and then the same day, President Higgins is off on his travels again. 6-day visit to the United States. He's not long back from a state visit to Britain. He hardly drew a breath. And then he had got the Freedom of Cork, I think. So he was on the go off to the United States. He did a lot of travelling. I wonder is he doing much now? He's marching up the age bracket. I don't hear him doing so much now, but we'll see as we proceed. We leave it at that. And I threw a little bit of news into it that a lot of you wouldn't know. 2014. You might have been too young and your parents weren't bothered about these things. But I certainly was bothered about them at the time. And that's what I'm doing these years from 1990 and the events and the storms and this, that and the other. What goes on? Say no more. Enjoy the rest of your day until this evening. And by the way, then I'll proceed and do my usual in the evening. Bet you're looking forward to that. Hymns, book your seats now. Bye now. Enjoy the rest of your day.